The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat.
You're listening to Truth Talk.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere.
With Paul Webster and Chance George.
The first year of global governance with the establishment of the G20 in the middle of the financial crisis.
President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it.
Nope, no weapons over there.
People who have been yelling, oh, the UN's going to take over global
Conspiracy
theorists. They've been crazy, but now they're right.
Yeah. Maybe under here.
But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that.
Hello, and welcome back to Truth Talk. This is episode 66. Ladies and gentlemen, I am one of your hosts, Chance George. I am joined on a very shaky video Skype by my co-host, Paul Webster. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm good, Chance. How about you, man?
Oh, I'm very excited, pumped up. I've been a little away from what's going on, and I'm excited to be back on air. Episode 66. Let me just scroll down on here. This is called Obama Information That Killed Breitbart, Michael Hastings, and Tom Clancy. And for some reason, I'm getting an absolute huge echo off what's going on there. I see that you were able to get a hold of the video that I have posted, and for the people who are tuning in, what we've done is we decided to change a little bit of the format on Truth Talk, and a lot of the information, sometimes I wasn't able to get everything directly off my chest that I wanted to. I might have fumbled through a note or two, and you got 50 points and you only get 3 of them out. So what I wanted to do was try and do a little bit of a YouTube video to describe and get out all the information and all the points, and then from that YouTube video, that would be the discussion that Paul and I would be able to bring up our banter, so that we didn't get lost in any of our banter, go down a rabbit hole like I tend to do every now and then. And that's basically the idea about it. So we took a little break. We've come back after all the holidays. We've got our first Truth Talk YouTube video ready. I think I even have it queued up in our in the thing here. And I believe it's about 6.5 minutes. Paul did get a shot to listen to it. That's correct, right, Paul?
That's right. You can't hear me, can you?
I can't hear a word you're saying. No. Ah.
Well, yeah, George, I heard it.
Okay, so Paul was able to hear it. I'm going to get it queued up for everybody else. Maybe if you could hit your mute button while we're on the little bit of a 6-minute break. And then we'll be back just after the video, and we'll be able to get into our main topic, the discussion of what we see here live for the first time, and it'll all be linked up on YouTube and on the network after. So here's the video I just made, folks.
You're watching Network Radio. Live from the Media Broadcasting Center.
Everyone is connected. And everything is connected. So should it surprise us that news stories are connected? Agendas are connected. And even the murdering cover-ups are connected as well. In this short video, we're going to connect some of those dots to see what has happened, what's almost happened, and what could happen next. We are going to cover a lot of ground, but hopefully the screenshots and links should be able to help you do your own research and come to your own conclusions. We will look at how close we came to a new 9/11 false flag style event, but this time, nuclear. Not only would the destruction of an American city be a huge story, but so was the subsequent cover-up. Huge names have tried and died to get this information out, so please download this before it is deleted, before it is banned, before it is censored forever. While most people would dismiss this as conspiracy theory, many of the stories have been researched by critical thinkers, investigative journalists, researchers, and independent media, all coming to the same conclusions about these stories that have been suppressed by mainstream. So I ask you, coincidence or conspiracy? On September 3rd, 2013, Senator Graham issued a warning for Charlottetown, North South Carolina, that they could possibly be nuked if terrorists got a hold of the bomb. This is shocking due to the fact that controversial breaking news came out of InfoWars on the same day about possible missing nukes from Dyer C Air Force Base in Texas. By presidential orders, weapons that were not even supposed to be on this base were moved, not following protocols or having any safety concerns for the public. Concerns were ignored, and base commanders even had to speak out. Top-ranking military officials in charge of nuclear arsenals have been fired at this exact time. These patriots would not go along with the false flag propaganda plan of the president. Navy Vice Admiral Tim Jardine and Major General Michael Carey have been fired. A few sites are even reporting the detonation just off the east coast in the ocean, hundreds of miles from Charleston. We have found multiple sites with 4.5 earthquakes reported on the Richter scale on October 8th, 2013. The nuclear collars that were to go along with this event were EMP, or electromagnetic pulse. This exact time correlates with what was happening with the sun and EMP pulses that are released every 11 years. 22 years ago, Quebec's power grid was destroyed from one of these pulses. This pulse was due to hit the Earth on or about the 8th to 12th of October 2013. Mexico, Canada, and the United States was performing a Grid X power down while simulating the entire North American continent without power. Is this also a coincidence? For the first time in recorded history, the sun did not produce an EMP flip. As well, the hyped grid test never happened. I find it convenient that before any Syrian chemical weapons attacks happened, US troops were massing along borders in preparation for a Syrian onslaught. Just think about this: an American city gone, Syria said to have annihilated its own people using chemical weapons. Who will stand for this? What is to be done? We must act. In future videos we will look at how this plays out to be a World War III scenario, with Russia and China getting involved. But right now, let's stick to the cover-up. Early in the year, Breitbart.com reported that they had a major story, a revelation about Obama, that would end his presidency. One day before the release, Andrew Breitbart was murdered.
This election we're going to vet him. I've got videos. This election we're going to vet him from his college days to show you why racial division and class warfare are central to what Hope and Change was sold in 2008.
During this same time, Rolling Stones reporter Michael Hastings has been freaked out. He has findings on the same topics and has set to write his next major article. Not only did they discover the fraud of Obama's birth certificate and birthplace, but they also found his plans to take over the government and spread his Marxist ways. This information was funneled to Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy was in the middle of writing his newest book about a plot where Saudi oil money would put a black president in the United States White House. This CIA operative would then use socialism and Marxism to spread his ways. Documents have even been found from 1979 linking all of this through a clandestine plan. It is amazing how these three different journalists have all been murdered and silenced to stop this story from leaking. Please download this and spread it around social media. Look up all the points and links I have provided, and you'll see all of this is true. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for future videos, or look us up on Facebook. at the Media Broadcasting Center or Network Radio.
I got nothing still?
I can hear you, I think.
Really?
Yep. So what do you think, Paul? First one we managed to get off there?
Chance, I was impressed by your...
Actually, yeah, we lost you. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Totally lost you. Let's make this difficult for you. There you go.
I was impressed by your ability to stay coherent, for one. You kept it really... I didn't even realize you, to be honest with you, for the first 5 sentences. I thought it was Aaron Dykes talking all calm and collected. I'm like, hey, wait a second. This is Chance. Nice. He's using a serious voice.
Oh yeah, that was my serious face for sure, dude.
That was definitely well done. All the images, everything you said had something. Even if it was just something you pulled, there was something to go with it. So it kept you intrigued for you know what I mean. It definitely wasn't boring.
Well, I did realize that I used a lot of stills. I'm going to try and use a lot more videos from now on. But it's a learning experience, like I said.
No, that was up there with all the good ones there is. Information-wise, it was also, you didn't go jagging off on everything. You just kept straight point, and there you go, look at it for yourself. And that's how they all should be, kind of thing. Yeah, well done, dude.
Thanks, dude. That was kind of the point of changing format of the show, and that's why there's been a big gap. We haven't actually aired a show since Devil's Night of 2013. But I did want to, because I do a lot of reading in the background there's a bunch of books, so before a show, I'll have 50 points ready to go. And then I get on air, Paul mentions something, I go down a rabbit hole, he says something else, all of a sudden we're having an intelligent conversation back and forth, it's interesting radio, but I get off air and I'm like, shizer, I have like 5 more pages of points I could have got on, but nothing actually came through, So I do like the fact that we got all the info out. Everything I wanted to say in tonight's episode, information-wise, is already on the table. It's presented to people. It's shareable without having to include our banter. It's now actually been made public on YouTube. I made it just before the show so Paul could actually get a preview. And basically, that now has the talking points out there and all that types of other stuff. There is a few updates since I did make this, as it took me just about a month there. I know that recently we found out that it wasn't just 2 military generals who were ranking over the nuclear arms themselves who have been fired. We had the 2 ones we saw in the video there, but we're now at 34. 34 nuclear generals and high-ranking officials. Maybe when I get some comments from you, I'm going to start typing and see what I can pull up. But 34 now we're up to. Military officials that have to do with nuclear weapons have been fired, have been disbarred, have been, they've all got some sort of problem. The problem is they won't fire on an American city. Comment from you while I dig the article up.
Well, I'd like to know what Breitbart has to do with the nukes that went missing from Dyess Air Force Base in, what was it, West Texas?
Yes, Dyess in West Texas.
Yeah, you're right about the InfoWars. Got the InfoWars as I find that here I go on a rabbit trail, but the conspiracy world, everybody likes to compete with each other. Like I was telling you the other day. And when we reference InfoWars, you automatically lose half of your people because they just get.
Did you notice in the video that I said controversial news came out of InfoWars? Because I don't like using that as a reference. One of my great buddies growing up, when I first tried to introduce him to the conspiracy world, he said, "You can't reference InfoWars, man." So now I have the factor where I have to be able to get it by my buddy. So you always have to have multiple sites, multiple links, multiple different angles, even if it's not proving exactly the same thing, but seeing the information on different sites, you'll be able to link to it. You'll be able to, okay, this is what I'm claiming.
Sure. No, what I'm saying though is that with the InfoWars thing is they're like I always say, one of the biggest ones out there, and people that want to leak information, they go to InfoWars because it gets the most hits right away, like more than Breitbart.
I got one to pull up on screen for you, Paul. On screen, you won't be able to see this, but just to describe it for people, it's a CNN page, CNN US, and it says, U.S. nuclear weapons, military nuke officers beset by recent scandals. And then we scroll down, I'll read off just the first line or two. Dozens of Air Force officers entrusted with maintaining U.S. nuclear missiles are now accused of cheating or turning a blind eye to cheating on a competency test. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The scandal involving 34 Air Force officers at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana marks the latest probe in U.S. nuclear forces plagued by problems over the past year. Here's a look at the most recent cases. The article I'm going to post right up on our Truth Talk page and on Network Radio under the thread for today, so that people will be able to go through there. It lists about Major Carey being fired, Tim Jardine, and then now 34 more officers all fired because of cheating. Okay, so like, how much BS is that, Paul? What are we talking here?
No, that's right, man. No, that's right. George, you've pretty much summed it up in the video.
Okay, well, show's over, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Truth Talk. I'll see you next month.
I mean, I can ask you to elaborate as much as you can.
What would be okay? Here's a good idea. What would be a question? Give me all the questions you can think of that you.
I got a question for you.
Perfect. Shoot.
What was it that we speculate that Breitbart knew about Obama when Breitbart apparently got murdered the day before his information was to be released about Obama's college years or whatever? Do we know about the information? Was the information ever released by his? He has his own website and his own people, right?
Yes, Breitbart.com. They actually came out with a whitewash the next day. They came out with information, and it just wasn't to the magnitude of not only killing him, but having him promoted as if it was going to do something. It was just, it was this fluff video of him posing with some students, and they tried to throw in the Marxist angle, but they didn't actually come up with a way to disprove the presidency and all that. So some of the information that we were looking at has to do with Sheriff Joe Arpaio's investigation into the birth certificate and a lot of that information, and I guess they had some serious links in Hawaii, and they were going to blow that open. But that's not even the tip of it. They were funneling information, like I said in the video, to Tom Clancy. They were writing a book about how back in the 70s they had a Saudi plan with Saudi oil money to put a black American or foreign nationalist unregistered CIA, like you know what I mean, basically an agent, a Manchurian candidate style person into the White House, a black guy too. That's even a quote from the document and from all the links that I was able to follow. And they said that they're going to put him into there. He's basically going to redistribute the wealth of America, turn it as close to a socialist, Marxist, communist state as they possibly can, basically invoking dictatorial powers. And the more I talk about it now, it sounds like someone's giving me a summary from yesterday instead of this being a plan from the 70s using the Saudis' oil money. And this was going between Breitbart, who was shooting his mouth off, got himself killed. It was going between him, Michael Hastings, who I believe we're going to have a video pulled up of the Michael Hastings explosion of his car that just happened to coincidentally happen. And these guys were coming out with it. They were both getting a little bit more serious in their interviews. They knew that this was big. And then, like you said, or like we saw, all the guys involved in this are all dead now.
I didn't even know Tom Clancy died.
Yeah, but that's that made mainstream type of news, and it kind of sounded like he died of the natural causes scenario, and instantly I flashed back to Steve Buchanan, And Paul and I, as loyal daily listeners of InfoWars, I know now we're terrible people, but we recognize Steve Pieczenik is basically the character that Tom Clancy was writing about fictitiously. He was getting all the information from Steve Pieczenik, who worked at State Department, and is basically a huge covert spy. And this guy was debunking 9/11. He was debunking the Bin Laden story and all that type of stuff. So as soon as I heard Clancy die, I automatically assumed it had to do with Pieczenik and his information. I didn't even know really that he was involved in this upcoming book and this huge angle from Breitbart and the help from people like Michael Hastings.
Wow. So so let me get this straight then. Breitbart, we got information on Obama, and he dies the day before he brings it out. How did he die, George?
Well, that I am not 100% sure of the cause, and no one really is, because the coroner ruled it a suicide, and then the coroner died. Let me just get all those loose ends, and we'll tie them all up in a bow, and everybody's dead. Okay, it's the same thing we see with JFK. Everyone involved in the conspiracy is dead.
I hate
do you remember seeing on screen or on the last couple of videos that I've posted on Facebook? There was a lady who was the one who notarized Obama's birth certificate, or she was the forger, something to do with Obama's birth certificate, right? A plane crashes, 9 people on the plane, she's the only one who dies.
Wow.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned JFK a second ago, George.
Of course.
I hate to get off topic, but to spend 30 seconds.
That's fine.
Mark Dice put a new one out. He's going around California. Did you see the one where he gives people bottles of water from Fukushima?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, radioactive water, and they drink it.
Hilarious. Okay, no. He's got another one he put out today. He's telling people, what's your thoughts on JFK dying yesterday? And people are all sad. All right, he was 97 years old, and he's pretty young for a president. And he says. Yeah, it's pretty funny, man. Anyway, sorry to get off.
It's crazy, man. I like Mark Dice. His stuff, you almost can't repost it because it's almost stupid, like, right?
It is. I can't even believe what I watch.
Yeah. It does prove a point, though. Even some of the awake people are asleep still, and it's sad. We're up against a pretty good fight there, Paul.
Yeah, sorry to go off topic, but
that's why I got the video posted, because now we can do this and we can jazz back and forth, and we're gonna be good. Before we hit our half-hour break and I pull up one of our new bumpers, I know that Paul was a big fan of the West Memphis suicide and the little clip we have. Well, now we got the video version. We're doing video now. You know, we're on screen and all. So we're gonna have a video clip of that little bumper. We'll come back just after the half-hour mark there. And I just wanted to ask Paul a big question before we go to that break. Speaking of music and studios and stuff like that, Paul Webster's going to have a show on this network, live from a studio, an awesome recording studio. It's called Production House 84. Is that correct, Paul?
Yes, sir.
And I've been over there a few times. They've done great work. They've built this whole studio up. He's going to have a show that basically has music guests on. He'll be on, and you'll be able to see them playing drums, guitar, all studio quality sound, but live on Media Broadcasting Center. I've been waiting for that for a while now, and it's looked like we're getting close. Do you know when this
I can say pretty much, I can almost say, George, we're just about ready. Like, as soon as the doors weren't even open yet, and we had 2 bands in there. So we're actually so unbelievably swamped that I took a night off tonight. I'm taking a night off on Wednesday night, and that's it. I mean, I'm there every night, all night, every day on the weekends, and it's constant. But we're almost done with these 2 bands, and then I can reassess everything. It took on way too much at once. And it's pretty much every night.
I so know the feeling, my friend. I'm up to like minimum 15 shows, if not extras, special events. Speaking of all kinds of stuff, remind me right after the break, because this is very important. I'm even going to scribble it down. Dan Dix and the Party for Truth. We're going to have to get some information on that. I'll describe to you what's going on about that. It's pretty cool. And yeah, we'll be back in about 30 seconds. You are watching Network Radio live from the Media Broadcasting Center.
Proposer here at West Memphis Suicide, and you're listening to fellow dirtbags, Paul and Chance, sticking it to the man on the hardest hitting show, Truth Talk. Coming in from the cold.
All right, and we're back live from the Media Broadcasting Center. That was our good friends in West Memphis Suicide, now a Rebel Few. If you have Google and the internet, look them up, check it out. They're a great bunch of guys, as well as fabulous musicians from our local neighborhood in southwestern Ontario. Back to the show. Party for Truth, Dan Dix, Paul Hellyer, and a lot of other great speakers, including our own Mark Fanjoy, is going to be down at Lee's Palace this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. I'm going to be down there with the live streaming camera. I'm going to have my little Network Radio shirt on. I'm going to pass out some business cards, try and get some interviews with as many people as we can. Have you heard of this event, Paul? And what do you think about Paul Hellyer?
Lee's Palace, it is at?
Lee's Palace, bud. Yeah,
I've heard of that place, man. That's a venue.
Yeah, huge venue. There's going to be bands there and everything.
Wow, cool. Cool. That sounds like. When's that, George?
This is this Thursday.
This Thursday?
This Thursday.
You're going?
Of course I'm going. I'm Network Radio, bud.
Wow.
Mark had actually sent me some pictures, so I'm gonna try and pull those up on screen. Here's a banner for everyone who's watching live at home. Speakers: Michael Tellinger, Richard M. Dolan. Keynote speakers. Oh, actually, no, this is for the tour. Oh, my bad. Okay. The Party for Truth is promoting the Modern Knowledge Tour, and this is the banner for the tour. It has a list of all the dates and places they're going to be stopping across Canada with all the different speakers. So I'll pull up the correct banner in 13 seconds, maybe less. There we go. Party for Truth with live bands and a DJ. It's at, like I said, Lee's Palace, 8:30. It's $20 cover, and it's this Thursday. There's guests Paul Hellyer, Richard Dolan, Dan Dix, and many more. Like I said, Mark Fanjoy will be representing Canada, the nation, and he'll be there as well. So it's going to be a real big night, and I definitely am glad to be a part of it. And I know that we're going to be down there just kind of repping the network and kind of spreading some information out to people that we're here doing what we do, hosting shows, hosting stuff like that, and putting this platform out for people to have their own shows, such as Paul. Either your video's frozen or you're staring right at me, bud. Paul. Mr. Webster. All right. I lost Paul. I lost him. All right. Well, while we're trying to get him back, Paul. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Paul's actually, unfortunately, connected to us through a cell phone. I know he's basically breaking every rule that there is of radio, but he's connecting through a cell phone. So every once in a while, it's hard, and we kind of lose him. Let me just link back up with Mr. Webster. And I am blind, so as you see me staring at the screen, that's why. Right. All right, we lost you there for a bit, Paul.
Yeah, I'm surprised it lasted that long, actually.
Yeah, that's all right. I told everyone it's because you're breaking all the rules of live radio, and you're on a cell phone.
I still got no video, but I'm sure it'll kick in any minute.
That's okay. I've got our banners posted right now, and they're just kind of doing like a rotating banner type thing because I did pre-warn myself that this could happen with Paul's video connection feeds that we've had in the past. We're gonna set you up, Paul. We're gonna get you in studio. I have actually multicams here, more than one that you could be sitting in the other chair, and we could be scrolling back and forth between it.
Nice.
Any other questions that would stand out with the video, with the updates, with the missing nuclear weapons, anything that's happened since then, or what any of the different aspects of the video were itself? We've got a little over 20 minutes. I want to answer as many questions as I can that maybe you don't know.
Did we ever find out where those nukes went? Because apparently they left the base and cops were freaking out or whatever, and other cops were saying to let them go. They were headed to Carolina or something, but that's all I heard. I never heard where they went, if they ended up somewhere, if what the hell happened. I never heard nothing.
Okay, great question. In the video, I guess you must not have been taking notes, but in the video I said that they actually exploded. There's websites reporting, and because other websites were reporting, I went and did some digging, and that's why I was showing on screen some actual footage of a 4.5 earthquake about off the eastern coastline by South Carolina. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was about 500 k's off the coastline there. I'm just actually, while I'm doing this, it always seems like I'm off into nowhere. I'm trying to always pull up the info and some of the stuff, my research that I was doing, so I get these pictures on screen. Yes, here we go. On screen right now, I have from the date October 8th, 2013, off the east coast of the United States. We're looking at a 4.5 magnitude earthquake, and this is just one of the actual sites. This is not a conspiracy site from InfoWars. This is the Center of Seismology, Euro-Mediterranean. Okay, so that's just one of the ones that I wanted to show on screen there. We could go through to another one. Here is an actual map where you see this star in the middle of the screen here. If anyone can see my... Actually, people can't see my mouse. Alright, we'll deal with that later. But in the middle of the screen, there's a star. That's basically where it went off. That's the epicenter of the nuclear blast that happened. And you can see just over to the left of that on screen is South Carolina and where this Charleston event possibly would have happened. And I've got another website here that's pulling up the info. This is a 4.5 earthquake, Tuesday, October 8th, 2013. It lists the epicenter. It lists the depth. All this. This is all data. This is from volcanodiscovery.com, and this is all data that you can go find that isn't on conspiracy sites. Okay, this is raw info that we're looking at that I wanted to basically try and get out and share to people. I have all of the pictures that you see in the video. I have all on screen right here. So if there's anything else that we wanted to get into, but just to try and explain, I know we lost Paul, but
for the love of all that is holy.
I know. Just to try and explain what basically I think happened is they took the nuke. They were ordered to detonate it, and I believe that's when the people who were out actually about to do it took matters into their own hands and fired it into the ocean.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Now,
okay.
We reported on episode 2. I remember that's way back now that we're at episode 66. But on episode 2, Paul and I reported that this happened once before, and it was in under the Denver airport where they had a nuclear blast go off and possibly take out one of the deep underground military bases. So lots of stuff going on, and it's just crazy. We had to try and prove that then with all the different earthquake blasts and all the meters. So that was kind of the same road I went with trying to find the info that I did in the video.
Very good, very good. And you believe that I'm still having a hard time. How does Hastings and Breitbart and Clancy, I guess, these guys, Clancy's writing a book, and you figure that Breitbart and Hastings, we know Breitbart, and you figure Hastings as well is feeding them information to write the book. Does the book reveal something to do with the nukes, or what does it have to do with the nukes?
The nukes, basically what happened is the nuclear weapons is, I'm trying to bring into the fact that with the nuclear weapons and the timing that they were coming out, the EMP attack and the timing that that came out, the sun solar flip and the timing that that was happening, the Syrian attack and the Syrian launch and the war that would have happened if us people online like this didn't stop it, all of that was the exact same time frame. It was the same time frame as the Grid X. I'm trying to show people we just bypassed another false flag style of event like we saw on 9/11 and Oklahoma and all the other things that we've reported on. But I think we just barely scraped the surface of what was happening, and that possible thing could have happened. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Making all these things in the video, all the same time frame. They were ready for Syria at the end of September, possibly at the beginning of October. But speaking of Syria, if you look in the video, the timestamps on the video, in all of those screenshots, this is way back in June, way back in March. They're saying Syria and chemical weapons. Syria chemical weapons attack didn't happen until late October or late August. I think it was October or August 24th. So, you know, months and months in advance, putting the propaganda out there, putting the info of Syria weapons, chemical, putting that out, and then having troops ready on the border, and boom, it happened. So it's just unbelievable when all this gets strung together, how interconnected that a lot of these problems are. And that's basically like I started the video off, how we're all connected, and so are all these stories.
I see. That's pretty good homework, George. I mean, like, it still doesn't 100% prove it, but it's damn coincidental that these top guys that are digging into Obama and have ties with CIA guy, well, I mean, Pachenik through Clancy or whatever, right? They're on there. We know Hastings had something on Obama and was taken off to go get it all organized to bring it out to the public when he was mysteriously, whatever happened to his car. What happened to his car, George?
Actually, speaking of that, that's an excellent point. I'm going to pull up liveleak.com, and because we have a brand new computer, get this, Paul, the network came through with this amazing, what I have dubbed R2. That's the name of my new computer. This thing is like running through the internet. It's so damn fast. Now that we actually have that capability, I can scroll through and do all these on-screen things. I'm going to show us, just going on liveleak.com, the Breitbart, or the Michael Hastings car bomb. So just bear with me while I type and talk at the same time. Michael Hastings death video. Sick as that is, we're watching it.
Sorry.
Alright, back this out a little bit. Play the video, people should be able to see it. Now what we're looking at, I'll just describe it to people. You're looking at a video, he's going to come from the bottom side, speeding, flying, for a guy who, wife and kids, who doesn't drive this fast normally, flying in the middle of the night, and boom, there he goes, and then boom! Look at that secondary explosion. Unbelievable. I'm going to see if I can pull that up a little bit bigger. Yeah, okay, I got the whole screen up now. We'll back right out on that, and I'm going to play that one more time. And I'm going to play right at the very end. But what you see this bomb.
It seems like everyone's.
Go ahead, Paul.
No, I just read it when you said speeding by, Michael Hastings, and I thought, God damn it, here's another one. Everybody we talk about, their last name has to do with their persona, or has to do with something vastly specific about them. And here's Michael Hastings dying, doing 180 kilometers an hour down the road.
Hastily.
Just saying, yeah, you know, there's allegory, and there's tons of them, man.
Yep. I'm just playing the video again. I'm going to actually hit pause right when his car comes into the frame. Okay, so the car's in the frame. In a typical crash situation, you would probably, first of all, just blowing a little bit of smoke out my ass here, Paul, but if you were just about to smash into a tree, you're flying under an underpass thing, you're just about to slam into a tree, do you think even for a second you hit the brakes?
Yeah.
We don't see any brake lights in this video. At the same time, we see a massive, from one side of the screen to the other, it covers the whole horizon of explosion that just looks to me like the poor guy got drone attacked. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that's what it looks like. It could have been a car bomb. But it was such a major explosion. And then you see a second kind of center of the screen, more energy and more central explosion there. And that's what I would have assumed his car actually hitting the tree or hitting where it ended up resting. And the first one would have been the secondary device, whether it being a bomb or something to that effect. I'm just going to hit play. Watch, this is going to happen very quickly. Look at that. I've got it on pause. It lights up the whole screen, all along the entire top of the video, and unpause. Boom! Boom! There goes another one. You know what I mean? That was it almost looks like it's still happening. It's incredible, folks. Unbelievable. I'll pull that down now. Oh, you sound like you're in a windstorm.
Oh no! I found headphones. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Whoa.
If we can get your video back, we'll throw us back up on screen. But anything else you wanted to get out that I might be able to show on screen or anything like that? Oh, one more video. My fault. Now some people would say...
Tell people what we...
Before I get into this one right here. Some people would say that sometimes... we could be crazy. There's no way nuclear weapons are going missing or someone's farsing around. In the video, I made reference to, I believe it was a 2007 event when some nuclear weapons went not missing, but they did something they weren't supposed to. They broke protocol. They flew them, 6 of them. Nuclear weapons, armed, over the entire country of the United States, from the north to the south, and nobody knew any better. Here's a video I have on screen just proving what I had mentioned in there. It's just a minute or so.
Do know it was last Thursday a B-52 bomber loaded 6 air-launched cruise missiles under its wings, took off from Minot, North Dakota, flew the length of the United States to Barksdale, Louisiana. Those missiles were supposed to be decommissioned. There was just one little problem. When they landed in Louisiana, they found that those missiles that were supposed to be basically decommissioned and taken out of service, each of them had a nuclear warhead on them. 6 nuclear warheads flying the length of the United States, and no one seemed to know it. To say the least, a major investigation is underway now. The Air Force officer in charge of the squadron loading the munitions, relieved of duty. They took an immediate inventory of all Air Force nuclear weapons to make sure they had everything. They say the public was never in any danger. The weapons were not armed, that there would have been no nuclear detonation if in some fashion the missiles had basically fallen off the wings of the airplane. but really small comfort to most of the military and to many Americans, perhaps. This sort of thing is not supposed to happen. Nuclear weapons are the most guarded, the most secure item, supposedly, in the U.S. military arsenal. One military official telling us today, this is unprecedented. Nobody remembers another instance like this.
You hear that, Paul? The most guarded, the most protected things in the military. And they should be. They're bloody outrageous. Mr. Webster, we still got you.
Oh, I was muted. Okay. No, George, I couldn't hear the video, George. I'm just staring at you, looking at you drinking your water. I can hear you drinking your water pretty good, though.
Nice. Okay, well, we watched a video where this news reporter is commenting on the fact that there was a plane loaded up with 6 nuclear missiles that flew across the country in an unprecedented event where nuclear missiles were missing, and this should have never happened. This was in 2007. No one really talks about it, but this has happened before.
Wow. Wow, eh?
It's unbelievable, man. It's scary. There's nuclear weapons missing. People are talking about frickin' Bieber on TV or some other bullshit that doesn't matter.
George, I swear to God, I was going to interrupt you during that, whatever, because I couldn't hear it, right? And I was just about to say, George, look, stop the video, breaking news. I was going to, and I thought you'd yell at me, so I didn't do it. I was going to be like, Justin Bieber just farted. Ah!
I can't believe the amount of people who are posting that crap. And then last night or the night before, everyone's going on about these Grammys and whether there was occult symbolism is what all the conspiracy people are worried about. But yet, I believe the real thing is, while the Grammys are happening, I believe, from what I'm seeing in reports, that America just completely, strip-bombed Somalia during the Grammys.
Really?
Everyone's watching TV. They're out there strip-bombing people.
That's great.
Complete asshole nation that they are. Somebody's got to stop these people and call them out.
It won't be long now, George.
You sound like you're in a frickin' storm again.
I do?
Yeah. Like you're touching the wire or something.
Yeah, I wonder where the mic is. Here. Is that it? Sorry, dude, I have no idea where the mic is.
Unbelievable. Well, I know that the next major YouTube video that I wanted to bring up, and possibly the next Truth Talk episode, there's a lady on our network, Paul, Bev Collins, and she does a show all on 9/11 every Thursday. It's 2 hours. She's had huge guests from Ray McGovern to Richard Gage and all them. Well, I keep hearing all this. She kind of inspired me to get back into some of my 9/11 research. So the next month's episode, and we're going to try and air these every last Monday of the month. So next month, let me just flip up a calendar. The date will be the 24th. I believe on February 24th, we're going to do Truth Talk 67, and it's going to be planes versus no planes and the 9/11 myths. We're going to try and debunk as many of them as I can. If I have time left in my video, I don't want to go over 10 minutes in those videos. If I have enough time in there, I might want to throw in some of the info on the energy weapon that was possibly used on 9/11. But I definitely want to get into the planes and what happened with the planes. So, yeah, I just see Will commenting, thanks, but I'm just trying to read, comment, and describe what's going on. That'll be our next video on 9/11. We have another one coming up as an idea. I believe we're going to work on, this will make Paul happy. We're going to do some video game propaganda. A lot of the video games that Paul and his family and a lot of the public, it's a huge enterprise. I was blown away by some of the numbers. It's just massive, the video game industry. Well, they're putting the propaganda out there. Paul might be able to describe it better than I can, but you're playing a video game, and I guess it breaks down to like a little movie all of a sudden. And in this movie is when we see like the Bilderbergs and the propaganda of that type of thing. Is this correct? Because this is going to be an episode.
George, Metal Gear itself talks about the GW, which is a great big computer that's owned by the Bilderbergers, the Weizmann's Committee, these group of people that run the world, and they collect data, by every single person that has RFID chips. They're called nano chips. Nano means small. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. Everybody's got a nano chip, so we all communicate with nano chips. And if you want to fire your gun, it has to be connected to that nano chip. If you pick up a gun in Metal Gear and it's not to your nano chip reading, well, Metal Gear 4, the future is what it's based on. It won't fire. The trigger won't pull. It's this electromagnetic pulse that has to read the nano chip in order to let the safety off. You understand? This is how everything's going to be based off this RFID based thing, and this great big computer at the center of the world basically is collecting all the information and algorithms of every single person everybody's doing, and they can pretty much predict the future on everything. And that's Metal Gear, and there's millions of games like this, and people watch a 2-hour movie and they bitch about the conspiracy propaganda and all the stuff getting shoved down your throat. Try playing a 100-hour game that has 20 hours of that propaganda shoved down your throat, and at hour 10 while you're playing, you're in a way highly suggestible state compared to somebody that's an hour into a movie. You're way higher. You know that little theta, beta thing where you go into a highly dream state when you're watching a movie and you're like, hey, Chance, snap out of it, Chance. Like, Chance, I'm talking to you. Yeah. Talk to somebody
out there, Paul.
Talk to somebody that's playing video games for 6 hours, man. See what kind of suggestible state they're into then. So that's my point on it. I think it's way more serious than we like to think it is. And now that when I got into this whole conspiracy angle of things, I realized that I've been subjected to tons of it, and I started going back and in retrospect, and I realized that some of these games are just propaganda pushing maniacs, and sometimes maybe it's the producers that are conspiracy theorists themselves, and they want to get this information out somehow, and this is the best way to do it. So like Metal Gear can look at both ways, man. So lots to learn, man. Lots to learn.
It's definitely a good idea for a show. I know you've been pumping it the whole time we've been doing Truth Talk.
Well, not only that, Chance, it's a good way to get me to push video games on you.
Yeah.
Folks, I've never been able to get this guy to play a game. Drives me nuts.
Back in the day, I did. I got no more time for games.
You didn't play these kind of games. You played Grand Theft Auto last time I see. That's just mindless babble, though, man. I'm talking about in-depth GW algorithmic computers taking over the world games. Smart shit, dude. You'd like it. I'm telling you.
Dude, it's crazy. But like I said, Shane, one of the hosts that we had on for our global march, he said that he wants to help out with that show. He's definitely a big gamer, and I believe he's going to try and bring up some of the footage that you're talking about, and we'll get both you guys in an interview maybe for next time. And then, of course, there's so many different topics that we could cover and lots of stuff like that. So any information that people have out there that they want to see, I would rather do a video on what people want than keep just pushing some of my research. I've gone down so many rabbit holes, I don't even know where I am anymore. But I do know that the more I can bring out this information and have it in a shareable, well-documented, concise, to the point little video, and then once we're done that, we can have our banter where Paul and I can get as off topic as we want.
Yes.
You like the new concept, Paul? Is that rocking?
I do. I like the new concept. And you said that the Rebel Few is going to come onto the studio once I'm ready to go, right?
They're basically going to be the first guests that you have live in studio once we have everything belled and whistled up.
Awesome. Good. They can see the studio, and they'll be future customers.
Yes. Yeah, but they are.
I say that with utmost confidence.
Yep, pretty good bunch of dudes there. So definitely look forward to seeing that show on the network. And there's many more shows. Like I said, this is just the Monday night right before us. Patrick McCoy was on, and he's on every Monday at 8. We have Canada the Nation Tuesday. Wednesday we have Live Wise and Standing in Honor with Will. We also have Thursday the Bev Collins Show, where it's 2 hours of 9/11 information and Let the Truth Be Told. We also have Friday with the Ideas in Motion, where a lot of people can come on and do their own kind of hosting. Mark had a guest host on. He's going to have the same type of idea. If anyone is interested, contact myself or Mark Fanjoy. And there's quite a few of these simulcasts and that type of stuff, like the Newers one that's all posted up on network radio simulcasts. We simulcasted the pre-launch and the launch of Newers. Have you ever heard of it, Paul?
No.
Entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. You have the studio, production house. What it is a huge platform for entrepreneurs such as yourself. I'll send you some links. It's all posted on the network. You should probably look into it. It might be something you guys are interested in.
Yeah.
And if you are, I'll send you the invite because it's kind of a referral kickback system going on as well.
Cool.
I'm not 100% up to it, but some of the people on the network, especially like Uwe, are very informed on it and active, and we'll provide all the information that we need. Mark's right on top of that stuff as well. But that's basically all I have for this week. I know that I've been off air a little long, and I didn't like it. I've been coming on other people's shows, making appearances, doing a nightly news show here and there for a couple weeks, but it's not the same as being on with Paul and voicing my opinion and get to say whatever the hell I want. So glad to be back, but I was almost a little nervous going on tonight.
yeah, man. Well, I was too until you sent me that video at 7:54. Finally got it to work.
Yeah, you're
7:53. Sorry.
Unplug that cord, dude. It's coming through like hell. Just unplug it.
Oh, that sucks, man. Because I can hear you great.
Yeah, you're the only one though. Right. Nobody else can hear.
Oh, where the hell is my speaker?
Nope, it's terrible still, man.
Anyways, well, that sucks. I had brand new headphones, and they sounded great on my end.
It's all good. It's all good. It's learning experience, and like I said, we got a month before the next one. Maybe we'll get you in studio.
Yeah, George. Hey, speaking of studio, next time you do a piece, send it to me to do some quick editing, some engineering, if you will.
If I can send you files, like, do you mean my videos that I do, or just the clips?
I noticed that at the start of it, just like everybody else's, and yours is better than Truth Stream Media's, and I offer them help, but they won't take it. So I'm offering you help. Send me the clips, and I'll put a compressor and EQ on it. There'll be no fuzz, no hiss. It'll all be the same volume.
Okay, open a drop, just live on screen programming here. Open a Dropbox account, and I'll share with you my finished product, and you can do some studio mixing. That'd be awesome.
I didn't notice that with this video, but I notice it sometimes when I click on your YouTube videos. The intros are super loud, and then, you know what I mean, stuff like that. I notice it all the time on YouTube videos, man.
Constructive criticism's where it's at, buddy. Just keep feeding me info. As much help as we can take. It's pretty much a one-man army as the production studio in here. But all right, well, I'm glad the people that are on live watching and commenting in the comments are on, and awesome to be back on air. Looking forward to next month. I definitely will be keeping people updated. I'll try and post some links to what we were putting online tonight, and I hope that people could pass around the video that I made and is on there, and we'll have links in the video to the banter that Paul and I got into from the information in the video. So that's basically all I have, and if you could just give us a closing comment, and then I'll take us off with our network bumper.
Just want to say good job, George. That was a good video, man. Like I said, it was very comprehensive and coherent to the point, and you kept your cool really well, and you didn't get all conspiracy headed and start ranting off about, well, that's figures coming out of those guys. Nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So yeah, it was very, very coherent. I could show that to my mom. You know what I mean?
Good, do it.
It sound like a kid talking. You know what I mean?
Awesome. I want to see you reposting that. Then I'm gonna wait till I see this.
All right. Either way, good job, George, and I'm glad to be back, and et cetera, et cetera. Thanks, folks, for tuning in and listening.
Awesome. Okay, we'll see you all next week. You've been listening to Truth Talk on Network Radio.
Less than 3% of you people read books, because less than 15% of you read newspapers. Right now, there is an entire generation that never knew anything that didn't come out of this tube. This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. Television is not the truth. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds.
Broadcasting live on network radio.
So turn off your television sets, turn them off now, turn them off and leave them off.